enough confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance to show you confident or not. Don't get caught in the matrix of all of these fakers. Society's spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, you can do fuck all with an angle, and the fools are running away.
You are so rude.
Did
You
I take the
demand
picture, Bev?
everybody's respect. How fucking dare you? Why don't you come back
Oh,
when
piss
you get a
off.
little
I'm talking
an
to Bev.
ounce of manner?
So there's your curve of the earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't
to
believe you,
something
Bob.
that's
I
either
think-
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie.
Essie, you're more than welcome to have a look at my video, but I'm not talking to that lying son of a bitch until he apologizes to
Fuck
me
off.
for calling me a liar.
Bob,
Okay,
show
fair
me
enough.
which picture. Come on, Bob. Show us a picture. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then apologize anyhow, asshole. Apologize
You're a liar,
for
Bob.
calling me a liar.
I don't know what I was calling you a liar for.
Say fuck off.
Have you claimed to have measured the curvature of level, Bob? You're a liar, Bob.
There it is.
Do you claim to have measured the curvature of horizontal, Bob? The amount of bend in a bendizontal? Is that
You're
what
a liar,
we're
Bob.
going to look at through your video? Because if that is your claim, yeah, you're a lying sack of shit. You haven't. You're a liar, Bob.
There it is.
So if we can clear it up with that, Bob, then we can clarify that's what I may have said you were lying about. You're a liar, Bob.
There it
Doing
is.
something that you obviously haven't done. But I don't know what picture you're talking about at Jose's. So what do you think of the setup then? Being able to live stream a auto level setup.
You'll excuse me, but I'm not that much impressed as you think I might be.
How's your water level test coming on?
What about it?
Are you testing?
Right now, no. I'm sitting here actually eating cookies.
Yeah. Have you found a way to stop all the leaks?
Well, the first one that we're going to be doing, as you already know, we're going to be doing Bug Light, which I've already put out public and you are already aware of.
When's it coming?
Soon.
Soon. Nice. Ours is ready. We just need to find a time and a
Do you
location.
mind if I get in here for just a second? Because I've got to go.
Go
ahead,
for it, Bob,
yeah.
because I'm on my way out, man. Y'all have a great day.
All right.
See you later, Sly. Next time.
Now, can you guys see this photograph okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. You see that phone box right there, the light green thing?
Yeah.
This is an auto level. This is an auto level that's accurate to a 1/16 of an inch in 300 feet. At this distance, the accuracy is plus or minus 1/2 inch. It's 2,500 feet. My auto level is at exactly the height of that phone box. Now look at the crosshairs. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the curve of the earth.
Come
Notice-
on, Bob. You can't be saying that. What else have you got? You can't just show us a picture and say, this
There you
is
go.
meant to be that. And then
Bravo.
big bam, boom. Well done. Curve of the earth.
Yeah,
That's
there's
ridiculous,
the curve of the
Bob.
earth right there, and that's also
Don't be
curved
stupid.
water in front of us because it's curved down from
It's
my
dropping
location.
away.
Yeah, it's dropping away by almost by over between 2 and 3 inches. So
Wow.
there you go. There's
Would it be
no-
dropping away if you went over to the other side?
What?
If you went over to the other side,
Yes. What about it?
would it be dropping
did.
away also, or would it be
I did.
lifting back up again?
I did.
You
And
did
I did.
with
Yeah,
the
I
water.
did it from that way and shot backwards.
And what happened?
Same drop. You
Wow.
know why? Because the
Drops.
curve of the earth is consistent.
Wow, is that you saying it's a definitely measurable?
Oh,
the
yeah, it's measurable.
drop Of how far away was that?
2,500 feet.
Wow. And you say 2 inches.
Actually, it's a little more than that on mine, probably due to measurement errors on my part.
What sort of scope have you got on your auto level?
That's a 24 power scope.
24.
Yep. Accurate to within a 1/16 of an inch in 300
Wow,
feet.
that's half a mile. You say? You think?
Well, no, I don't think. It's measured half a mile. I don't think these
That's
things.
some good optics. That for a 24 times scope, Bob.
Damn straight it is. So there's your curve of the earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't
to something
believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think-
anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie.
Well,
Quite
present your
easily.
evidence.
You're a liar,
Well,
Bob.
there it is, right in front of you.
I bet that's not even your picture, is it? I bet somebody else has give you that picture.
Is that the best you can do? You're going to call them a liar and then say that's not even your picture?
It's
Well, you
that's-
see, here's the thing.
that's not a
Bev.
24
I
times scope
protest.
looking
I'm
over
the only
half a
person
mile.
Hang on, just a second, folks. Bev, you just called me a liar. The full video, including external views and everything, will be out Friday, and I will be expecting a personal apology from you. Do you
That
hear
is
me?
fair. Bev, that's
24
fair.
times
If Bob,
scope.
if Bob present, all the evidence, you see this, and you're happy, well, it's fair to apologize because it's not fair to call people liar without,
He'll have done well if he's measured a drop of the water over that distance with that auto level. Measured, right? You've got a measuring rod out there, I suppose.
He's gone. He said he had to be quick.
Oh right, okay. Well, that's good.
Give it to me.
For what?
For lying about me calling me a liar that I didn't take those pictures.
No, I said you were a liar because you said
No,
you've
you said
measured
I was a
Earth
liar because I
curvature.
got those
Don't
pictures
even know
off
what
the internet.
curve is, Bob, do you?
So there's your curve of the earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't
to
believe you,
something-
Bob.
It's
I
either
think-
anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie.
You said I got those pictures off the internet.
What pictures,
You called me a liar.
Bob?
Apologize.
What pictures, Bob?
Okay. See you later.
Which pictures, Bob? Come on, Bob.
Think he left.
Maybe Dr. Bob is waiting for us to start talking about his
Yeah.
video.
Oh, he's pretty brave, I must say. He's not like the other keyboard warriors. You know? Way to go, Bob. Good to have you.
Yeah, we just were. make sure it's okay with you, Bob, that if we go over your video while you're here, you can have your input. Would that be okay with you, Bob? Just give us a thumbs up in the chat or something. That'd be nice.
You have that apology yet?
For what, Bob?
For saying I was lying about the picture.
Lying about what picture?
Having taken the picture. Is this Bev?
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Yeah, Bob.
Yeah. Well, you told me I was a liar, and that was a stock picture. That was my picture, and I took it.
I never said that, Bob. Give us
You
the.
said it in front of everybody.
Give us
you said it in front of everybody and Jose told you that you owed me an apology.
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Which
And I say you owe me an apology, so I'll take it now.
Which picture, Bob?
The picture of through my auto level.
Can anybody ask Bob what all of the wires hanging from his auto level are? Because there seems to be a lot of a wire array there that's connected to all of the legs of the tripod. I've never seen that before. Has anybody else ever seen?
You mean the wires on the bottom there?
Yeah.
You mean the wires for the lights on the tripod?
For the lights?
Yeah, that hook up to the battery. Yeah, those wires.
Sorry, you have lights on your tripod?
Yes.
Nice. Do they flash?
They form a pattern.
Nice. I like it. Soothing? Do they play soothing music?
Hey, it's better than your tripod, Bev. I see yours.
I definitely.
Get on with the video.
Way more blinged up than my tripod. Clue what you're talking about, Bob.
Well, then go fuck yourself.
Right, okay. So are we okay going over your video of your auto level? I don't know what you were talking about, a picture of through an auto level. Bob? Hello?
Bob, don't be a sourpuss. Do you give us permission? Do you give...
Essie?
However, just for the sake of argument, let's give me a measurement error of 1.25 inches.
Essie, you're more than welcome to have a look at my video, but I'm not talking to that lying son of a bitch until he apologizes to me for calling me a liar.
Bob?
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie.
Okay,
show
fair
me
enough.
which picture. Come on, Bob. Show us a picture. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then apologize anyhow, asshole. Apologize for calling me a liar.
I don't know what I was calling you a liar for.
Fuck off.
Have you claimed to have measured the curvature of level, Bob?
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Do you claim to have measured the curvature of horizontal, Bob?
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. The amount of bend in a bendizontal.
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
It's
I
either
think
anti-vax or moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Is that what we are going to look at through your video? Because if that is your claim, yeah, you're a lying sack of shit. You haven't. So if we can clear it up with that, Bob, then we can clarify that's what I may have said you were lying about. you doing something that you obviously haven't done.
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't
to
believe you,
something-
Bob. I
Either
think
anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. But I don't know what picture you're talking about at Jose's.
And I wanted to demonstrate that anybody could do this over a relatively short distance if they had the right equipment. This is not something you go out and look at the lake and say it looks flat to me. You can go out and actually measure it and get an answer.
Oh yeah, it's measurable.
Because I can only remember going over to Jose's the other day. And I can't remember discussing anything of yours, Bob, when I was over there. So, we get any more clarification, Bob? Or are we just going to go with what I've just said and agree?
I think you should just move on, because otherwise someone may go back and look through all the videos that Dr. Bob's ever spoken and seen whether he's ever insulted anybody and then apologised. So, you know,
what's
glass houses and all that.
What's the channel called again? Flat Earth Moon? Is it Flat Moon on a Flat Earth? Flat Research Flat Earth, Flat Moon, Flat Moon, UK based. No. Does anyone know what Dr. Bob? What's up with the old Dr. Bob? Was it Bob the Science Guy? Is that it? No.
Yeah, but he's also a doctor. Let's not get big.
No,
I say let's put bygones be bygones and have a discussion.
Yeah, what's his channel called? I can't find his video.
Oh, his channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he changed.
Yeah.
Flat Moon.
SE?
Yeah, Bob.
Research Flat Moon, no spaces.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Rob. Oh my goodness, that was not the most childish thing I've ever heard.
Well, it's obvious Bob is ticked off at Ben, but I say let's be adults now. Let's forget it, put it aside, and I'm sure you want to discuss your video, Bob. I do.
Don't apologize
I wanna
for
hear,
calling people liars unnecessarily. That's not an adult. He's not qualified to talk to me anymore.
Right. Okie dokie. What have you guys got on there? Have you got my
I
screen?
don't know, but are we really going to go on people's qualifications for talking about things? Do we have to go into
talking
people's
qualifications. Yeah, nice.
Well, he did give us permission for the video, so I'm sure if we talk about it, I'm sure he won't be able to resist.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Bob.
Right.
Feel free to jump in at any time.
So you guys, can you guys see that video on the screen through Discord and jump into that?
Yeah, it's on.
I've got it on the thingy, so we don't need to.
Yeah, I got it.
We need to. We'll go through it all. Right. So this is Dr. Bob, the ex-science guy, now Research Flat Moon video channel, and well, let's watch it all right from the beginning. Okay, anybody want to jump in, just give us a shout and we'll go over it, and I'll
Well, hi everyone, and greetings from Northern Michigan. This is Bob the Science Guy. You know, the other day Blue Marble Science put out an excellent video on LIGO. Now, LIGO is a laser interferometer.
There you go.
That's it, I can't listen to any more. Sorry. You lot carry on.
Is the Blue's done a video, an excellent, I don't know whether that's right or not.
And it has two pipes that go out at right angles that are 4 kilometers long. Now, one of the problems that you run into is that they have to be perfectly straight. So what he did was he got out the construction documents for LIGO and demonstrated that in order to make those pipes straight, they had to actually adjust the footings for the curve of the earth underneath it, and he used that as a curved earth proof. Now these two flat earth scholars, Cleary and Brian Linke, decided to quote unquote debunk him on that.
Cleary and Brian Leakey tried to debunk Blue. Didn't Blue make his video because when he came round here and talked to us lot about LIGO? So wasn't Blue's video trying to debunk the actual geometry of LIGO? Because I think that's what Blue was doing. And they just did the footings for the concrete. There's no curve of the earth in that. They just made it straight, horizontal.
So they put out some silliness, and Blue Marble Science responded to it. Well, good for them. But I got to thinking, these two geniuses are challenging a retired engineer that built a scale model of the Cavendish experiment in his garage and is measuring G to within 0.1%. And I really don't think that that's the hill they want to die on. But I got to thinking, Blue Marble Science has some cool stuff, but you know what he doesn't have? He doesn't have a 2,500 foot water level in his backyard and an auto level. Let's cue up the music and go measure the curve of the earth.
It's interesting that you called it a 2,500 foot water level, Bob. I like that. Bold. It's a bold claim.
Well, the first step in presenting any sort of scientific evidence is you have to describe your methods and equipment. Now, I'm going to have a link to this particular auto level in the description, but let's just go through it real quick. This is the Bose GOL 24 auto level. Now, when you mount this on a tripod, the first thing you do is level the...
See, Bob, you see that little black bit at the back? It's called a compensator lock.
top of the tripod, and for that use this little bubble right here. Then you use these screws, there are 3 of them on this, to do a very fine leveling once you have the basic level on the tripod taken care of. Now the third way that these auto levels determine what's level is that they have a pendulum in them. Here, have a listen. Hear the pendulum going back and forth? Now what that
is, have you actually had it calibrated, Bob? Essie, do you want to ask Bob if he's had it calibrated? His auto level.
Bob, have you had it calibrated? I wish we don't have to do it like this.
If you don't answer, Bob, we'll just take it as a no. You haven't had it calibrated. You've just bought it from the shop.
Which is fine. You probably just bought it.
You just go ahead and you finish the video.
Okay. So we'll take it. I can't see a sticker on it, so we'll just take it as it's not being calibrated.
pendulum does is it hangs down according to the line of force of gravity, and it has a mirror on it that adjusts the telescope to be perfectly perpendicular to that line of gravity. So basically,
that's interesting.
Did he just have to do like loads of takes then and fade in?
I think so.
Got it wrong several times. Yeah, Bob, you really ought to stop doing this style of videos because it is so boring. Boring, I have to say. Just, I don't know, pep it up somehow.
He said gravity twice.
Yeah,
what is gravity?
Perpendicular to, right? But so what we can judge by that is perpendicular is the relationship of 2 straight lines, and the gravity force that he's going to give obviously has a vector, and we'd have to call that vertical. So perpendicular to vertical is horizontal. Now that's what Bob means, I think, when you have an auto level and you adjust it with that floating mechanism that it has inside that auto levels once it's been calibrated, obviously, and then you have to check, obviously.
Yeah, but he said gravity twice. So what is gravity?
Just vertical will do. It's just the
Okay.
vertical, and it's perpendicular. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that vertical and perpendicular to vertical is fine. Right? That's a natural state of things. It's one of the two right lines that we use in geometry and obviously reality surveying.
Oh yeah, but when you use a plumb bob, it goes straight down. But
vertical.
if you could say a plumb bob, then everybody knows what it is. But if you're saying gravity, that means something else.
Nah, same thing. Isn't it, Bob? Vertical. A plumb bob makes a vertical, and it's a plumb bob that does gravity. It's that, that's the representation in reality of gravity. So perpendicular to that. It's fine. I mean, that's why
I don't like the word gravity.
Well,
A plumb bob.
just represent it, right? That's just a different word that they use. Just change it to vertical in your head. It's that easy.
It's easy for us, but unfortunately, if you say gravity, then people perceive that it's actually a force and it's something that's acting on something.
With a
A
vector.
plumb bob goes straight down.
Yeah.
Gravity means something else.
Nah, same thing. Exactly the same thing. It only means something because you're giving it all of that.
It's not me giving it because I know exactly what it means. It's other people giving it the credence.
Other people imagine all sorts of other things. I mean, like loads of people. That's what we're dealing with here, is people's imaginations of what. I mean, like Bob's going to show us what his imagination of a surveyor is. He's got no practical experience of it or anything. It's just an imagination of things. Well, carry on. We're only 3 minutes into it.
Sorry,
when you set this
sorry
up,
for interrupting.
No problem.
and you look through the eyepiece right here, there's some crosshairs in it, and whatever those crosshairs are on, it is a straight line perpendicular to the force of gravity at your
Perpendicular
location.
again? See, even Bob says perpendicular. He just uses the word gravity because it's one of those magic words that they use.
You can't do the whole 15 minutes. There's no way.
I know.
So let's see
There's
how
no
I
way.
set up the experiment.
Experiment.
Now,
we just
at
want
my
to see his
house,
experiment.
I have
Oh,
a
okay.
This is a really good experiment.
flagpole.
You guys are a tough crowd.
Has these two support structures on either side of it that you attach the flagpole to. And then what I did was I went out to the dock and I zip tied a pole to one of the supports for my dock. And the end of the pole was just touching the surface of the water.
Yeah, all right, problem.
And then I took my auto level and I found where the crosshairs were on that pole and I marked it. Then what I did was
He didn't actually mark it. He put some sticky tape on the pole and then marked the sticky tape. It's a non-standard surveying practice, but I think this is maybe what Bob's done.
The pole out of the water.
Bob's imagination.
And I carefully measured the distance from where it touched the water to where that mark was.
When you carefully measured the distance, Bob, how did you do that? Did you set it up at a horizontal and made sure you horizontally measured? And what was your measuring thing that you carefully measured it with? I don't think we actually saw that.
I then moved the auto level over and found the same height on my flagpole and I marked it. So now I have a benchmark of sorts. Then I took the auto level and I went to the other side of the lake and I put a pole,
did the same.
Again, just touching the water, cable box.
Did the same.
Again, just touching the water, cable box.
Did the same.
Again, just touching the water, cable box. And that cable box is easily visible from my backyard. So I took the height of that cable box and I put a mark on the light pole.
You skipped that sentence. Put it back to where I was over at the other side of the lake
Okay.
and finish it up.
All right, are you going to tell us how you carefully measured it, or are you going to leave us that to our imagination? Because
Video.
you know,
Did that spot to a light pole
yeah, it's all right.
that was
Go
nearby,
on.
much like my flagpole. So now I have a
I'm
benchmark
not-
on that
He's
side of the
butthurt.
This
lake.
isn't Bob's show.
Now, next to
Bob.
that light pole, there is a small
Stop being
cable
so
box.
butthurt.
It's a small
like
cable
it.
box.
Cable box
Fuck
is
off.
easily visible from my backyard.
You can
so
see
I
a
took the
cable
height
box.
of that cable box.
You took
Yeah.
it. How did you take the height, Bob? And the height from where?
He's not going
Why
to
don't
answer
you go
you.
ahead and
He's
put
looking
it back
like
to
a
the part that
baby.
you skipped?
I put a mark
And
You put a
Right.
mark on
the
it.
light pole.
On the light pole.
Put it
I
back to
then
where you
measured
started
between my
skipping.
reference mark and that
and
mark,
listen.
and that allows
It's not
me
a
to
skip,
get
it's your
the
fading in
exact
and out when you
elevation
fucked up
above
your
the
lines.
lake level. That was the top of that cable box. Then I came back to the house and I made a mark on my flagpole exactly the same distance above the lake. So
Exactly, Bob. What do you mean exactly? Because I'm sure you go into a massive error thing a bit later on, where you say you're within 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches or 1 2/8 of an inch. I don't know.
now I have two reference marks on either side of the lake
That you assume
that are in
are
reference
exact.
to the level of the water, and I can make a measurement. So when I set up my auto level,
So you can now make a measurement of the measurements that you've just made, that you've not showed us how you make the measurements, Bob. This is a really bad, poor showing. Do you have a measuring rod? You said you have a
and
measuring
adjusted
rod. in
it
it.
to
I'm
the
gonna
mark on
see
the
a measuring
flagpole that
rod in it,
represented the
aren't
top of the cable box on the other side of the lake. I was able to swing it out and look at that cable box and see whether or not it lined
Great,
up.
thanks, Bob. Great.
Now, one
No
of
one
two
needs to
things
know
would
this.
happen.
Stop waffling.
Either one, it'll line up with the top of the cable box, or two, it will be above the cable box.
Or you
Situation
could
one,
just directly measure
we
this
have a
stuff.
flat plane between
What's
the
that?
cable box and my house. Situation two is the water is curved along with the curve of the earth, and there will be a drop.
Bob, do you know how water flows, Bob? It's from a higher elevation to a lower elevation. Now that bottom one looks fucking ridiculous, doesn't it? I'm surprised you had the nerve to be able to draw that on the board while you're doing it. Hashtag best use of whiteboard. Showing people the drop of the water. Fantastic, Bob. Fantastic.
Between my backyard and the side of the lake that has the cable box. And just in case you were wondering, the distance, so that's 2,552 feet. How do I know that? Well, I measured it on Google Earth.
Bob. Bob.
Did you do any actual measurements, Bob?
Exact measurements, or you're measuring exact stuff?
Where is the reference to that? Well, I'm not going to share that with you because it tells you exactly.
You're not even
where my
going to
house
give us
is.
the reference for
And
it.
quite frankly, I
Nice.
don't want to dox myself. But
Oh,
one of the
that's a good-
hallmarks of science is that
convenient.
when somebody says point A to point B is 2552, you take them at their word for it. I've got better things to do
you don't.
than try.
Bob! How the fuck can you call yourself Bob the science guy, and say that people just have to fucking take your word for it? Shocking, Bob. If that's you trying to speak for science, you're fucking ridiculous.
Try and sneak in an extra 40 feet on you. Well, I just described to you my method, but let me go ahead and show it to you so that you see that I followed them.
I think we've seen both sides of your auto level there. I can't see a calibration sticker on it, Bob, so again, I'm going to say I'm correct in thinking that you haven't had that auto level calibrated. And once again, I'm going to point out the fact that I have not yet seen a measuring rod, so I don't know that you have performed a 2-peg test. I don't know how you would have performed a 2-peg test. You don't seem to have a measuring rod, Bob.
The method. First, let me get out of here and we'll go over some of these pictures. Okay, so here's the auto level set up in my yard. Remember, first we level the tripod, then we use the screw adjustments to get the bubble in the center of the circle. And
can anybody ask Bob what all of the wires hanging from his auto level are? Because there seems to be a lot of a wire array there that's connected to all of the legs of the tripod. I've never seen that before. Has anybody else ever seen?
You mean the wires on the bottom there?
Yeah.
You mean the wires for the lights on the tripod?
For the lights?
Yeah, that hook up to the battery. Yeah, those wires.
Sorry, you have lights on your tripod?
Yes.
Nice. Do they flash?
They form a pattern.
Nice. I like it. Soothing? Do they play soothing music?
Hey, it's better than your tripod, Bev. I see yours.
I definitely...
Get on with the video.
Way more blinged up than my tripod.
And then the pendulum within the auto level finishes off and gives us a perfect perpendicular line to the line of gravity. Now, what you see right here is you see my dot, and here's a yellow pole. Now, if you look at that yellow pole, what I've done is I put a piece of tape on it, and I made a mark where the cross...
That's not a measuring rod, is it? No, it's just a pole.
Matter of fact, it is.
What, that's a measuring rod? Have you painted out all of the numbers on it?
What makes the numbers critical for the measuring rod, or is the ability to measure it and make the mark? Your point is moot.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Right. So, which surveying class did you go on that said, you know, that's best use of a uncalibrated auto level? Is that the pole that you used to do the 2-peg test on to confirm that your auto level?
Is it a functional measuring rod or not?
Is that the pole that you used in order to perform your 2-peg test to at least, seeing as it's not been calibrated, so you must be able to check it first before you used it. Is that the pole that you used in order to perform your 2-peg test, Bob?
Get on with the video, please.
I'll take that as a no then. Okay, Bob.
Hit the pole. And then from there, I swung it around and made a mark on my flagpole at exactly the same height. So now I have a reference level. I can measure this distance to the lake surface, and that is the same distance to the lake surface to the mark on my flagpole. Now the reason that these crosshairs are kind of skewed over a little bit is camera angle. Let's go to the other side of the lake and do the same thing.
Camera angle as well, Bob. That's really bad. Nice clear circle though. I like that. Was that a mobile phone on it from, I guess?
Okay, so now we're over on the other side of the lake. Let me get out of the way and I'll show you the scene. Here is my auto level right here. I've set this up and it's been leveled, etc. Here is the dam, and as you can see,
Do we just trust you, Bob, that... Okay.
Got my pole right at the side of the dam. Here is the light pole, and here is the charter cable box. I measured the distance from the surface of the water, then I...
Bob, is that a tape measure that you're measuring? Like that, using the end of a tape measure? You've not done much practical measuring, have you, Bob? Bob, have you? You're used to doctoring rather than practical.
I'm just kind of curious. Why do you think a tape measure is inadequate to measure distances of this precision?
For surveying purposes.
Go ahead and tell me why a tape measure is not adequate for this purpose.
Because you have a measuring rod usually when you're using an auto level.
All right. What's the difference between the measuring rod and a tape measure as far as distances? Is 6 feet on the measuring rod the same as 6 feet on a tape measure?
A measuring rod is much easier to place
No.
to place on the turning points for your turning.
Okay, fuck.
Okay? When you do leveling, as you do, you place a pin in the floor and you put the measuring rod on it. That's how you use it, Bob, in a reference to the horizontal set by the auto level. A measuring rod is integral to this. You can't do this sort of job without the measuring rod, although some people think you can. They think you can use little tape measures, bits of sticky tape on poles. It's not accurate, Bob.
I translated it over to the light pole, and as you see, that's 96.5 inches. Now, once I had the reference distance on the light pole, I could look on the auto level and line up the top of the cable box. And then I can bring that over and I can find out exactly where that is on the light pole. It's a simple matter to measure the distance between my reference mark and the mark that represents the top of the cable box and give me an elevation above lake level for the top of that cable box. Now, in a perfect world, the crosshairs would be on top of the cable box, or they wouldn't be on top of the cable box. And the reason the world is perfect is that there's no instrument or operator error present. Well, we live in the real world, and there is instrument error. Now, with this particular...
What about operator error? What about a absolutely useless shite that hasn't got a clue what they're doing? What about that error? Or you're just going to go with the operator, the instrument error, which is going to be fun. I bet this is going to be
instrument. Fun. The accuracy is listed as 1/16 of an inch at 300 feet. So, do
you know what that means, Bob? It means that over 300 feet, supposedly, you can read 1/16 of an inch. Did you try that? Did you try measuring that, Bob? Did you, when you did a sight test to see how far you could see, did you bother to see whether you could actually do that? I'm guessing not. But that's what it is. That's the accuracy of the instrument over that distance. And it would be that sort of distance because you wouldn't bother looking any further than that. That's the sort of maximum.
I think someone's got a hot mic.
Yeah, who's that?
300 feet you go out. You can
so you might disciplines out.
2552 feet is between 8 and 9 increments of 300 feet.
Yeah, Bob. 8 and 9 increments of 300 feet. It's a nice bit of maths.
So the error is going to be 8/16 to 9/16 of an inch.
8/16 of an inch, Bob. Over half a mile. Is that because that's 8 times 300? So therefore 8 times 1/16.
And it's not commutative either. It's each 300 foot is 1/16.
Yeah. That's why they
so
when they say
a shot of
go on. Sorry.
If you do a shot of 2,500 feet, it doesn't mean it's 8 times.
It means you don't do that sort of a distance.
Don't freaking do it. I'm pretty sure 8/16 would be a half inch.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's not what.
And like I reckon that as well. I reckon you've looked at the 32 times scope in the manual, because the 32 times scope, my particular level says it's 1 millimeter over a 1 kilometer double run. Well, that means every time I look through mine, I can measure a millimeter, and means I can go a 1 kilometer away and then obviously loop back to get to my initial start point to close the loop, and I will be 1 millimeter, because every time I do that loop, the 1 millimeter acts every time, Bob. It doesn't accumulate for how many turns you've done. That doesn't happen. I don't know who's been teaching you, Bob, this sort of stuff, but they seem to have taught you some ridiculous shit that doesn't actually happen in reality, and you've just made stuff up. It's quite good for us though, Bob. I really like it. It gives us a chance to show how these tools are actually used. I mean, this is exactly what we've been doing. We're going out to show people exactly how this happens and exactly how it works. Thanks for helping us. Pointing out all the pitfalls.
Plus or minus. Yeah. I put down 0.5 inches, which would be 8/16 of an inch.
0.5 of an inch, Bob. That's an interesting decimalization of inches. Interesting.
What we have is it could be 1/2 an inch high, or it could be 1/2 an inch low. However, we have one other thing that we have to take into account, and that is refraction. Refraction at that distance is 1/4 of an inch.
Wow, Bob. Refraction at 1/2 a mile is 1/4 of an inch. Where did you get that from? Was it George? Because, I mean, George did say 2.7 miles. We've just done a video. And he had it moving 11 feet. And I'm presuming that's 11 feet in either direction. So that'd be 22 feet. Deviance over 2.7 miles. And you seem to just think it's 1/4 of an inch.
So that will move it up. So basically we have this little area that is 1/2 an inch above the crosshair and 1/4 of an inch below the crosshair. If the crosshairs are on top of the box anywhere in that area, that has to be read as no drop, because that's within the margin of error of the instrument. But
that's wrong, isn't it, Bob? You're going to admit that now, or you're going to keep doubling down on that? That, whatever you've just said there, is completely wrong.
One more margin of error, and that is the operator error. Did I mark the locations properly? Did I measure them correctly? Now, I spent a lot of time doing this, and obviously it's something that I'm capable of doing, although I'm not a professional surveyor.
That's right.
My error rate was probably between 1/4 and 1/2 inch in all the measurements, in summation. However, just for the sake of argument, let's give me a measurement error of 1.25 inches.
Bob, a measurement error of 1.25 inches. That's a decimalization of inches. Let's call it 1 1/4 inches for the sake of keeping it that everybody understands what we're talking about. Because do you often...
Because you're being an ass, tell me the difference between 1 1/4 and 1.25.
Inches are imperial. Right now, unless you're doing American surveying, unless you're doing American surveying and you decimalize feet, I am not used to people decimalizing inches. I'm sorry, Bob. Is it something you do that often, Bob? This is why I was saying I don't think you're used to taking many measurements. In reality, because I don't know, people may do it over there in America. I only know inches. It's an imperial measurement for inches and feet and inches.
That's because you are severely intellectually limited. That's why.
Nah, if you came on the job site and started calling out measurements in decimals, you'd get kicked off the job site.
We would laugh at you, Bob. We're laughing at you now.
I'm not on a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you damn right you're not, because you couldn't be.
You did put 1/16 of an inch. I mean, even the manual told you 1/16 of an inch. It didn't decimalize that. It's you that's decimalizing it, Bob. Nobody else. But, I mean, you may have got confused because you are dealing with surveying, and American surveying is in feet, do have decimalized feet. But not
Move
inches. Not decimalized inches, Bob. That's you.
Move on.
Okie dokie. We're
So
moving
what
on.
that means,
Well, actually, can we sum up? You started off with an instrument error that you got completely wrong, and then you've added on top of that an operator error of 1 1/4 inches. Bob, you're not doing very well. Sorry, 1.25 inches.
is that 2 inches below the crosshairs. If the top of the box is above that, we're going to consider that as no evidence for drop or curvature. If it is below that, we're going to view that as evidence of curvature.
His globe.
Because it exceeds the error rate of the instrument. So let's go ahead and have a look at some of the measurements. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty clear result. That
Crosshair looks like it's massively above that thing over there. I mean, it's half a mile away, is it? That.
Live a tennis ball.
It's half a mile with a 24 times scope as well. I mean, that's not a very good scope on auto level. That's it. Are you sure that's half a mile, Bob, through that scope?
It's like a foot above it.
Yeah, easily.
Maybe he bumped a.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a lot.
Could have been when he rattled the mechanism.
I am. It's 0.47 miles. 2,552 feet.
Yeah. Google measurement, right? That's a Google measurement, not an actual physical measurement. Just like putting a line on Google. I mean, that's fine. Fine. It does look pretty close.
Yes, it is fine.
So, yeah, very good scope you've got there, Bob. Very good scope.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you had a measuring rod there, you know, we'd be able to see how far away it was. Because you know you can put a measuring rod in between those stadia hairs, and there's a direct proportionality between the size of those and the distance it is away. So unfortunately, you weren't able to do that, isn't it? It might be because you haven't got a measuring rod.
Not necessary.
Crosshair is a good 4 inches above
A
the
good
top
4
of the cable
inches.
box.
That's a good 4 inches. Over half a mile.
Damn.
That's
How tall was that
that's a
box?
Fucking good 4 inches.
Oh man, a good.
But let's
4
go
inch.
ahead and make sure that we can mark it to be sure. So what we'll do is we'll go back over to the other side of the lake and we'll take some masking tape. We'll mark where the top of the cable box is, and then we'll give a visual cue 4 inches up with another piece of tape so we can roughly estimate how high that crosshair is. Now right here at the upper edge of this lower piece of tape, you can see the mark that represents the top of the cable box. I then measured 4 inches up. The bottom edge of this top piece of tape is approximately 4 inches above. It's actually just a hair less. Well, there you go. Let me get out of here and we'll have a look at it a little bit.
No way, Bob. You're not putting bits of tape and looking at them from half a mile away, are you?
A different angle to me.
I think you are. Yeah, it looks like it's way different there. It even look like a different magnification. Doesn't that pole look like it's a little bit thicker?
Didn't it look like more 4 inches too?
Yeah, look. Look.
Holy shit.
What? What's going on there, Bob?
Move on, I guess.
Yeah, move on. Never mind. He's put a
What do
big
you think,
arrow.
genius?
I think I don't know. You've obviously moved it, haven't you?
I blew up your
Have you
picture
got?
of the
Have you
scene
got a
so
new
could see
height?
it again.
Did you have a height adjustment?
No. Stop talking. If you want an answer, you need to stop talking. What I did was I took the photo and I simply blew it up on the screen so you could see it easier. That's on a second monitor, and I just blew it up on the screen and fed it into OBS.
Guy's walking up the slope. No, I'm just kidding.
The crosshairs have definitely got closer there, Bob. They're
Crosshairs weren't moved. The exact same setup as the previous one. The only difference is the marking on the pole.
But the crosshairs are in a different place. You've not just blown it up. The crosshair there is to the left and it is over the top of the green box. The crosshair there is on the pole. You've not moved that crosshair by blowing the picture up, Bob.
No, what I did was I
You've moved
zeroed
the
it in on
auto
the
level,
pole.
haven't you?
No, I have not moved the auto level. I changed the azimuth slightly.
Sorry, you changed.
The azimuth slightly.
Yeah. Right.
The auto level's in the exact position, and it's the same auto level, the same position as it was for the first one. It's just moved over a little bit by azimuth.
Okay. It's in a different place though, so I don't know. Maybe because you might not have done your.
But it's
tip
not
over.
higher or lower. But it's not higher
It
or
is.
lower. You can
Of
tell
course it
that
is.
looking at
It's
the
definitely
box.
higher or lower. That's
No,
the
it's
way-
not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
That's your positive claim. Present proof of that.
Present proof of what? They're here. Pictures. They're different pictures, Bob.
No. You have to measure it. You have to measure it. Present proof that that crosshair is at a different elevation above that cable box.
Don't be stupid. Bob.
Otherwise, move on.
You haven't even fucking measured it. You've put tape on the thing. That's all you've done, Bob.
You're supposed to take a ruler to your computer screen.
I then measured
Shocking,
4
Bob.
inches up.
Measured.
The bottom edge of this top piece of tape is approximately 4 inches above. It's actually just a hair less. Well, there you go. Let me get out of here and we'll have a look at it a little better. Now, right here is the box. Here are the crosshairs. As you can tell,
Bev,
they're a
stop
little
it.
bit above.
I wanted to say something too, Rakia. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rakia.
Bev, you see the support yellow pole, like
Yeah,
the wire protector?
Yeah.
Look at the orange, that orange mark above his crosshair. You'd say that's in between the two orange marks on the pole, or whatever that is, just discoloration or whatever. See where the crosshair is going through that yellow pole?
Yeah.
Now go back to the other picture. Where's it at there?
I don't know whether I can blow it up or not.
When you blow it up, it gets really blurry. It's like it's in a different spot on that too.
Put it in the main Discord screen.
You gotta have a reference.
Yeah, I can't. That doesn't work either.
Mm-mm. It's,
That's a good
it's
screensaver.
Mm-mm. Ooh.
There you go. Right, well.
Yeah.
We'll
move
carry on. Yeah.
Carry on.
There's obviously two different pictures, two different things, but because he's got no measurements or anything, what you're meant to do.
The
with
cable
it.
box.
It's not even bloody straight.
Adjusted for asthma.
I then measured 4 inches up. The bottom edge.
Always make sure your horizontal isn't horizontal and your vertical isn't vertical. That's one of the globe proponents' methods, I think.
Edge of this top piece of tape is approximately 4 inches above. It's actually just a.
Even Emma gave us a bollocking for that. We have to. That's the first job we get on, Bob. Whenever we do our setup, Emma tells us to make sure that the crosshairs are vertical and horizontal, obviously perpendicular.
You understand those crosshairs are. It's the picture that's tilted over a little bit.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
can
was
tilt the
saying.
picture.
Emma makes sure that we keep them vertical and horizontal because people would go mental if we were to not have a vertical and a horizontal. You realise that?
You have a vertical and a horizontal there.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly vertical and horizontal.
Well, we do because we have a calibrated auto level
that one-
and a
that
two-peg
one
test.
is.
Yeah, we
All right,
know
you
we
keep talking.
have.
You keep talking.
We don't know about you,
Those
Bob.
crosshairs are vertical and horizontal. The
They're
only thing that's
perpendicular.
tilted it all is the picture.
They're perpendicular, Bob. That's all we can
They're
tell.
vertical and horizontal, and they're perpendicular to each other, and just the picture itself is rotated.
You assume they are, Bob. You've not had it calibrated. You've not even done a
You can
two-peg
measure it.
test.
You can measure.
We cannot measure it from the other end of a video, Bob. That's for you to do, not us.
Here are the crosshairs.
Already
As
did.
you can tell, they're a little
You
bit
can't have done a
above
two-peg test.
the level of that box. You see the little part of tape right here that I put on the side? That's where the Earth Curve Calculator predicted my crosshairs would be.
You go to a calculator to predict where your crosshairs are going to be, Bob. Rather than having a measuring rod. Did that Earth Curve Calculator that you went to tell you where to put the sticky tape on the pole? Is that a new tab that they do? I hope so.
And as you can tell, I'm just a hair high. And remember, folks, the family that fishes together stays together. Now, this is very clear-cut evidence for drop due to curve of the
Drop of the water level, Bob. Is that what you've just think you've measured? You've measured that bit over there and said there's a drop of the water level? Bob? Or the drop of the
The measurement shows that the far side of the lake is a couple of inches lower than my side of the lake. Yes, it's a drop in the drop in the water.
When we went to do our thing at the weekend with the water level,
I don't care.
What it showed
I don't
was
care.
the
My test I'm talking about.
The towpath at the side of the canal rose up about 0.8 of a meter. It was quite a lot. I can say 0.8 of a meter because we have decimals.
I don't really care what your test results were. I'm only talking about mine.
But, you know, the land, though, can be a different height on either side of the lake, right?
I measured to the water.
You understand, yeah, but the land can be at a different height. You do understand that, because that's what...
It can be, it is. It not only can be, it is, but it's
Brilliant.
still...
So that's what you've measured,
still
then?
No, I've measured to the surface of the lake.
Yeah, but you're not assuming that the lake actually drops over that distance, are you?
I'm not assuming anything. I'm saying with certainty, I measured the lake dropping in that distance, yes.
No.
The surface of the lake is lower on the far side than it is on mine.
Really? What happens if you're on the other side of the lake?
Well, let's see. That would be an interesting measurement to me.
Well,
I would assume that it would drop from that side of the lake to my side of the lake.
But you said your side of the lake is higher.
Yes, the side that I'm on is higher. You betcha.
Okay, right. So if you go to the other side, well, what? Wait a minute, Bob. So what happens if I go to the other side of your lake, right? Would my side be higher than yours, or would your side still be higher than mine?
Your side would be higher because you're on it. Yes.
Well, what about you? Because you've not moved. You're still on your side of the lake.
From my side of the lake, your side would be lower. From your side of the lake, my side would be lower. Come on, you can't be that obtuse.
That's a Bob, that's a contradiction. You can't be both higher and lower than the other bit of water on the other side. No, Bob.
All right, well, you keep talking over me. Are you done talking over me?
Are you going to try and explain how you can have that?
Yes, I am.
Then.
If you stop talking over me.
Go on then.
Are you done? All right, the way that works is on the surface of a sphere, wherever you are on the surface of the sphere, you're assumed to be at the top, and everything slopes down from around in all directions around you. So if you're on your side of the lake, on the top of your sphere, it will slope down to my side. If I'm on my side of the lake at the top of my sphere, it will slope down to your side.
Everybody doesn't have their own sphere, Bob.
What if I've got a
Everybody has their own position on their sphere.
What if I have to plumb a pipe for drainage and I got my buddy a half a mile away? Are we just going to keep fighting over who's higher or lower?
No, you're going to put elevation to mean sea level, aren't you?
Yeah, we would.
Oh,
yes.
he's the plumber now.
Yeah, but that would be a grade, wouldn't it? Like, Bob, it's a measured vertical change, isn't it?
In elevation, yes.
Yeah, well, that's how you've just said there's a half. How much distance did you have?
All right. It's a tangent. It's a tangent line from each position on the surface of a sphere. That's what horizontal is. It's a tangent line.
No, Bob.
And as a result, any place you are on that. Look, I'm not going to argue.
No, I'm not arguing with you, Bob. I'm just pointing out the fact that you can't have horizontals intersecting with each other. That just doesn't happen.
Can.
No, you
can't,
Bob.
You absolutely can and do.
No, you don't, Bob.
Look at your two-peg test again.
What do you mean, look at my two-peg test again? What are you talking about?
How does the two-peg test work?
Do you not know, Bob? I thought you said you'd done it. Like you now can you now admit that you don't know how a two-peg test works?
No, I'm going to see whether or not you do. You tell us.
I definitely know how it works, Bob. I don't need to tell you. Like we
do.
No, Bob. When we were live this weekend doing the auto level test on the beach, we performed a two-peg test live to the people in the Discord chat. Right?
How did it work?
Pardon?
How did you do it?
We performed the two-peg test, Bob.
How do you perform a two-peg test?
In the manual that comes with your auto level.
In your own words.
Sorry, Bob.
Describe it in your own words.
Bob, I'm not here to teach you how to do a two-peg test. We will be doing a video, and we will also do the two-peg test every time we go out doing this live, because it's a standard procedure, Bob, that you do every time before you use your equipment.
Go ahead and tell me how it works.
How it works. It establishes that there is no error in the horizontal of your auto level before you use it.
And how does it do that?
By establishing a horizontal, Bob.
Great. Now, where's the horizontal established from?
At the auto level, Bob. It is a device for establishing a horizontal.
No, tell me What is your reference point,
Bob?
For a
Bob, what are we doing? Are we watching your video, or are you quizzing me now on what you're meant to have done?
Can I ask a question real quick to you, Bev?
Go on.
About 1 minute, so.
Shut up, Bob. Shut up, Bob. You're a fucking jerk. I'm not here to talk to you. Bev,
Fuck off.
thank you for doing this, because Bob needs to be exposed as a pretender clown tool abuser. I had to leave YouTube and come in here just to tell you that.
Yeah,
I love you, Bev. You're the best.
Thanks, Rob.
And while we've reached an interlude as well, I've been keeping a list of questions that Bob needs to go back on.
Yeah. It's nice, thanks. Right, so we've not got much left here, Bob, right? We can get over this now.
The Earth. It matches the amount predicted based on the known radius of the Earth.
Wow.
So, this is really very good. We could stop right here, but we don't have to. I did this on Father's Day here in the United States. The weather that day was about 75 degrees and the water temperature was rather warm. It's a shallow lake. It's only about 4 feet deep and it's fed by a very shallow river. So the temperature of that water is generally pretty close to the temperature of the air. It's not really all that bad. And as you can tell, look at the detail. You have excellent visibility on this particular day. This isn't one of those wavy flat earth images.
Bob, what's a flat earth image? That's really weird.
And then
That.
it's sick by a flat earther, they can't focus the camera.
I don't know what a flat earth image
All right,
is.
guys. I'm running now. I got to get it going. I've got my meeting. Take
All
care.
right. See you later, Bob. Thanks.
This is very clear cut.
Flat earth image.
But let's go back a couple of days later when it's 62 degrees and see what kind of results we get then. And there it is. It looks pretty similar. Now, why did I choose to do this over a 2,500 foot lake? Well, the estimated drop...
It's in his back garden, isn't it?
Depending on whether you're using refraction or not, was either 1.55 inches or 1.84 inches. That's well...
What a piece of shit.
What does he mean? It's either one or another. And
within the measuring capability of my auto level. Second, I wanted to demonstrate that anybody could do this over a relatively short distance if they had the right equipment. This is not something you go out and look at the lake and say it looks flat to me. You can go out and actually measure it and get an answer. And the third thing is, I can pick up...
Actually, not a bad point. That he's got... that's half a mile, isn't it? So, if we've got... a mile is about 1,609 meters. And if I've got a 400 meter water level, somebody else has a 400 meter water level. That's 800 meters. That's half a mile with the water level. So
wow, each car is a mile.
Yeah, that's similar to what Bob, and Bob says everybody can measure this, the drop. So can you imagine if I'm stood at one end of my water level and let's say somebody like Spot On, he's got a water level and he's stood at the other end of it. So we've got a half mile water level. Now, Dr. Bob thinks that my end will be higher for me and Spot On's end will be higher for him. Well, I'd say it's fucking ridiculous, Bob. He's mental. I don't know what the people are talking about. Why he thinks there is a drop to the water level. It's got to be his model, right? You hear the way he kept saying about on a ball. Everybody's on their own ball. Everybody has their own sphere.
Well, your individual sphere, yeah.
He was playing his
I don't have a sphere. I don't have a sphere. I have a cube in my garage. Sorry. Sorry, Buster.
Smart man.
I was just playing. It was just playing his own game. My model dictates.
Yeah. What's my
They're
model
always saying
predicts?
everybody knows. That's the thing that they keep on coming out with. Everybody knows.
I don't know how much left is on this. There's only a minute.
Curve of the Earth over this short a distance. If I go up to Otsego Lake and do the same thing over a 3-mile lake, I can very clearly demonstrate curvature, and I may actually be able to measure it. This is a very rough measurement.
3 miles he can do it. I mean, that's...
It is clearly
George
curved.
Nutsack.
It's significantly curved, but I can't give you an exact number for it because it's such a short distance, and quite frankly, you need better survey equipment to do that. You can show it's curved, but if you want to put a distinct number on it and calculate a radius from it, you need a little better equipment or you need a longer distance.
Did he say calculate a radius from it? He thinks he could get an auto level and find some way to generate a radius calculation. I mean, that's... I'll have to go back and listen to that again, because I'm sure he...
No, it did say calculate.
Yeah.
It's always in the maths, because you can't... There is no curve unless you calculate it.
From a horizontal level, I mean...
Measure it. This is a very rough measurement. It is clearly curved.
It's not a
It's
measurement,
significantly curved, but I can't give you an exact number for it because it's such a short distance, and quite frankly, you need better survey equipment to do that. You can show it's curved, but if you want to put a distinct number on it and calculate a radius from it, you need a little better equipment or you need a longer distance.
Calculate. So what he's going to do, he thinks he's got the ability to notice a drop of the water level, which everyone knows that's how water flows. We know how water flows, and it is downhill. If there is a drop of half an inch, then the water will flow. To have an equal, it would be less. It wouldn't be half an inch of a drop. There's no such thing, Bob. You're mental. But if you have a drop of half an inch, that's a slope. So how you can calculate a radius from straight lines is ridiculous. Just mental.
I'm going to go get a longer distance. Stay tuned and watch for that in the next couple of weeks.
Wow.
Well, this is Bob the Science Guy signing out from Northern Michigan. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thanks, Bob. That's enough.
Also, I would like to say, for the other pictures that he posted, why were the pictures crooked and not straight up like that last picture?
Oh, he's just put a... I like it. If you ever see Rumpus draw a picture, he can never put horizontal in the horizontal position. He can never put vertical in that vertical position. They always have to lean it. He might just have that. It might just be the Globe Defender's way, where you sort of have to have verticals leaning.
What age group is Bob the Scientist actually pitching his bullshit at?
Well, you see, this is... I have this sort of thing. This is geometry. The surveying is practical geometry. It is not a science. Geometry, there's no debate about geometry. It is already settled. There are proofs within geometry that give us the ability to do trigonometry. Triangles having 180 degrees give us a chance to predict sizes, distances, curves. All of that is all exactly known. There's no science needed in it, apart from when Bob likes to come in and do a little bit of obfuscation and tell people how inept he is at actually doing this. So people might think, I mean, I don't know how many people think Bob's an authority on anything, really. But imagine that you did, and you thought Bob was an authority, and you watched that video, and you were to go, ooh, this seems pretty, seems pretty complicated. But if even Bob can't do it, and Bob says there's an error of 1 1/4 inches of every time he takes a measurement and all of that, and Bob says doesn't really know that much about it, but he's a clever guy.
I thought I heard double drop there. Was I mistaken?
I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, drop from each side when you're on top of your own sphere.
Yeah, he
Your
said
own
double
personal
drop, and then
sphere.
I asked him about the plumbers, and evidently now plumbers use mean sea level when they plumb pipes.
The water argument is devastating. There's no way around it. I mean,
Why?
it just isn't.
Why did Bob decide to dip his toe into this sort of... Right, because all of the other guys have disappeared. Jesse Kozlowski, the guy from Maine. I mean, who else have they got? They've literally got no one. So
Well, I know a guy that just got recently an auto level. He measured 16 miles. They got him.
B-ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he didn't measure 16 miles. He might have thought he looked over that far and did some tool abuse. He didn't,
Tool abuse,
He didn't physically measure 16 miles.
No. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. See you later.
Later.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, that's I don't know, nice of Bob to come in there and that was go over his video.
No, honestly, he has guts. I say that for real.
Yeah.
He has guts.
Yeah, I like that. I think B-Ball, was the one that bought the auto level first and forgot to buy the scoring pole with it. Kind of got on to him. He didn't do much with it. I just think they went to the next person. Hey, Bob, need you, bro.
Yeah. Who's the next public? There's like Blue. What about you? No, I'll do LIGO. I'll do LIGO.
Blue was tying
I don't
him
want.
up in the strands of LIGO.
Bob
Shout
drew
out,
the
Big
short
Blue.
straw.
Yeah.
Had to go out on Father's Day and use his auto level and do tool abuse.
Yeah,
Why is Bob worried about doxing himself? Not to bring up doxing, but I thought he was known like in his area for selling oil and all that. Like, I thought people knew where he was. I didn't think it was a secret.
Well, I don't know. It might have just been so he didn't have to give up his actual Google measurements.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, why would he say he didn't want to dox himself over Google when everyone pretty much knows? I mean, I think they do. I don't. I've never looked him up, but I've heard people say that. Like, you can research him and he's done this and done that and lives here and whatever. I don't give a care where he lives. That lake he lives on or pond isn't curving. The lake that I live near isn't curving. Doesn't matter. It's just an optical effect. That error that you're getting that you only call 2 inches is actually more than that. It's plus or minus. It can be 4 inches. It can be 4 feet. It can be 16 feet. It can be 40 feet if you look far enough.
He had an error margin of 20/16, so I mean, just give him a break.
But that was the exact measurement that he calculated. His model calculated or predicted. Sorry, they don't calculate, do they? They use a calculator, and their model predicts that sticky tape went on the post at that distance. But that was the curvature. It was 1.5 or 1 point something of an inch. 1.5 or 1.8 of an inch, I think he said.
Oh, you got pretty close.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I mean, if that was meant to be the amount of curve, and he said it was significant, I wouldn't call 1.5 inches to, let's call it 2, 1.5 to 2 inches over a half a mile. I wouldn't call that significant. I mean, the water would definitely be able to show it, but for sighting, I wouldn't call that significant. But again, I have to give him all credit, because he said it's measurable. Like, they've all said it, haven't they? Oh yeah, it's measurable with Jesse Kozlowski. Bob's just said it's measurable, he can measure it. There's another guy from Maine that said he can measure it. George Nutsack said he can measure it. And Rumpus. Or did Rumpus say it was really, really difficult to set a horizontal?
Yeah, damn near impossible.
Yeah, he said it was really almost impossible.
So we will not put Rumpus down on the it's measurable list, but there's
easily
definitely
measured.
Yeah, most of them can like measure it. Strange that none of them actually have.
Oh yeah, it's measurable.
They just say they have, and they look over things like that. I mean, but it's good.
Yeah, I would let Bob go out there 3 or 4 times a day for the next year and see how many inches up and down that tape moves in his crosshair. That would be interesting, right?
Yeah.
Then he would know for a fact that it's only optical and not a true measurement.
Yeah, you could sort of set up a GoPro live feed all the time and non-stop. He could have it live streaming.
Yeah, just show the crosshairs.
Put a concrete pile on in your backyard, and it's always sitting to the same.
Into granite.
Yeah, concrete into bedrock. So going to see if you can get a 2-inch pole on your bedrock. Put a thing on the end of it.
And measure 6 miles. All that work. Yeah, I wonder how much time that took to find that benchmark. Get it so precise, get it in the bedrock where it would never move, and then shoot 6 miles over ice. That's funny.
I was just thinking, you know, when we went out at the weekend and that sort of stuff, that was 800 meters. Did you see the size of that fella? Can you imagine that's me with a measuring rod in my hand? I'm just, you know, just for you guys that have seen us in the auto level, you know, 800 meters. Well, I'd have said about 150 to 200 myself with the size of that fella in that scope.
You had a better scope on yours, and
Yeah.
you couldn't read any measurement. What, 100, 150 meters?
Yeah, but I mean, like the size of that fella. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think Blue might be trying to troll you in the YouTube chat there, Akia.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Blue plays with balls in a shed. Hey, he's got those patents up on his wall, though. I'll tell you what, quite the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, great personality, too. Awesome.
Surprised he's not on my case. I've been ridiculing him on LIGO for the past couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, when somebody said the other day that Bob's got the short straw with the auto level, I'm not so sure. That LIGO one's gotta be tough, right? I mean, how do you justify the numbers? I'm not so sure. You did a very good job, Blue. I mean, it was all right, I suppose.
But that one's a little bit like you can go over the prints and all, and prove or disprove things on that, but you can't actually go there and do your measurements. This, what Bob is doing, anybody can kind of go out and do that and do it over the course of a day, over a year, and prove that it's just an optical effect. You know, you don't measure that way. They can talk to surveyors. So I think the LIGO is the tougher one, you know, like to sell.
Yeah, because you've got to sell it to people visually, haven't you? You've got to like sort of model it in a way, and since all you've got is straight lines, it's easy on one model. If you want to take the plane parallel model, that's pretty easy to model it, but I don't think Bob's even tried to model, dare I say it, the mirrors yet. Not too sure. No, they do tag and release, JQ. That was interesting, Bob. Give him that. Bumpus over there at Brandon's. Nice. I don't think we'll get any of them coming over, especially after that pretty poor attempt at whatever Bob did there. Please, if anybody ever looks into any auto level or anything, doesn't matter what model you've got in your mind or whatever, it doesn't make any difference, but you've got to understand that when you use an auto level, a measuring rod is integral to it and how it's used. It's a device that measures a distance, an elevation, a distance of the land from the horizontal that's set by the tool. You need a measuring rod in order to do that. It is really simple when you see how it's used. Some people make it sound really confusing. It's literally not. And next time we go live, we will be able to show you. You just have to come in here and you'll be able to look at one of the screens. There will be crosshairs on it. You can read whatever the distance is. You can position me with the rod and somebody will focus the auto level and all of that and get it all right, so you can see what happens. Come on in, Blue. I don't know who you were talking to in the chat. Do you guys dispute the elevation measurements at LIGO, yes or no? No, they're all the same elevation, Blue. It's a straight line. They're all perpendicular, X, Y, Z. X, Y, the two arms, they're on a straight line. They're on the same elevation. Simple as that.
Well, he can't really say much because he was bragging that everybody's gone quiet about LIGO since he came on the scene.
No, he would put money that the two ends are a foot higher than the center. That's what he said.
Is it? Nice. Well, that's why Zanuck says the ball will roll to the center. It might Zanuck might have told him to say that.
And fuck you. Watch the video. It's you. It's showing that you're a liar when you say you don't remember saying anything, because you do. There it is.
I do remember. I don't remember saying what it.
Then
I might
you're a senile
remember.
old coot. Watch what you said and then offer me the apology you owe me. So there's your curve of the earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't believe you, Bob.
I think anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Okay, well, couldn't you have just said that when you were saying it at the beginning?
Several times. You denied it.
No, I asked you what I said.
Fucking watch the video,
What
asshole,
were you
and then give me that
talking
apology.
Bob, you realise you've just called me names. That's not very nice of
Fuck
is
you.
it?
Watch
Wow.
the video, give me the apology you owed me, and know you owe me.
Right. Is it you're not upset that I've called you a lying for saying that
Yeah,
you've measured
I am.
the curvature
You owe me
of
a
the
fucking
water
apology.
level?
So there's your curve of the earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't
to
believe you,
something-
Bob. I
Either
think
anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Is it for the water level thing?
I'm fine with my auto level. You owe me an apology for calling me a liar by saying I got those photos from somebody else or off the internet.
Just
I've got
a quick
proof of
question.
it right there. So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on.
I don't
to
believe you,
something
Bob.
that's
I
either
think
anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie. Yeah. Can we
why
see
would
a
you?
picture of you?
Sorry,
I want to
Ben,
know.
just
Sorry, I want to see the tripod lit up. Have you? Can you? Have you got
Not
a one with
interested
the-
in hearing anything else from any of you until you've had a chance to look at that video and give me your apology.
That's nice. We don't care about your opinion.
No other
Why
questions.
would you say bye and then come right back? Something weighing on your mind?
Is this Do you want?
Yeah, I'm owed an apology and I want it.
Do you want us to watch it live now, Bob? Is that what you're waiting for?
I don't give a fuck what you do.
Okay. Because I don't.
You're a
normally,
lying son of a bitch.
I don't normally
and not
watch.
a man
I
because
don't.
you can't offer an apology when you're wrong.
Don't normally watch videos that people make about me because
Then fuck off.
They do loads, but
You came here.
you made a video about me.
No, I just simply made a video of you saying something that you deny you said.
I don't know. I was asking you where I'd said it. I can't remember what I was saying, where it was, Bob. I can't even
Yeah, you
remember
do.
when. What do you mean?
Watch the video and refresh your memory, asshole.
Oh, is that when you were over at Jose's? Wow, I turned off when you
So
came
you do
in.
know.
And well, I can remember being over at Jose's.
Now watch the video, see
know
where
what-
you called me a liar and
I
why.
switched
and then
off.
apologize.
I switched off when you were on. But I mean, I'll watch it. You want me to watch it, Bob? Do you want me to watch it now? How long is it?
Less than a minute.
Wow. Okay. Oh, I'll watch it now then. There we go.
So there's your curve of the Earth, my friend. So go on to
I don't believe you, Bob.
Either
I think-
anti-vax moon landing denial.
I call that as a big fat lie.
Well, present your
Quite
evidence.
easily. You're a liar,
There
Bob.
it is. Right in front of you.
I bet that's not even your picture, is it? I bet somebody else has give you that picture.
Is that the best you can do? You're going to call them a liar and then say that's not even your picture?
Well, you see, here's the thing, Bev.
It's not a
All
24
right,
times
Bev,
scope
Bev,
looking over half a
Hang
mile.
on just a second, folks. Bev, you just called me a liar. The full video, including external views and everything, will be out Friday, and I will be expecting a personal apology from you. Do you hear
That's
me?
fair. Ben, that's fair. If Bob, I mean, if Bob
I
presents,
remember
all the
now,
evidence,
Bob.
if you see this
I
and
remember.
you're happy, well, I mean,
Can you remember the times anybody else watched that? I called you a liar
And I'll take your apology now.
before. I said called you a liar because you said you'd measured Earth curve. You're a liar, Bob.
That's not what the
drop
video
of
shows.
No, you're a
Well,
liar,
say
Bob.
That is not my picture, and that
After,
doesn't take
you're a liar, Bob.
and I got it from someone else.
Bob, that occurred
You're a liar, Bob.
after I'd called you a
That's
liar.
live, right?
You're a liar,
Saying
Bob.
about
the curve. No, Bob, no.
You're a liar,
I
Bob.
said, I bet it's not even
Be a
your
man,
picture.
Bev.
After I
Be a
called
man.
you.
You're a liar, Bob.
After
Be a
I
man.
call you a liar. Do you want to? You made a video.
You're a liar,
about
Bob.
it.
Be a man.
It shows that I called you a liar about
You're
the
a liar,
Earth
Bob.
curve thing
About
before.
taking the picture.
No, the picture was
About
after.
taking that
No,
picture.
the
You're a
mention
liar,
of the
Bob.
picture
Got it from
after,
someone else.
Bob. You said
Stop
you mentioned
dancing.
the picture
Stop
after.
dancing.
There's a like before
You
and
don't get to
after,
dance
Bob.
like that,
You
Bev.
can, no,
You're a
you
liar, Bob.
are the one that are making a tit out of yourself once again, Bob.
You're a liar, Bob. All
I
right.
called you a liar.
You're a liar, Bob.
because I said you have not measured
said
the
I didn't take that
curvature
picture.
of
Did
the
I take the
Earth.
picture? You're a liar, Bob. Did I
Shut
take
the
the
fuck
picture,
up,
Bev?
Bob. You are so rude.
Did
you
I take the
demand
picture, Bev?
everybody's respect. How fucking dare you? Why don't you come back
piss
when you get a
off.
little
I'm fucking
an
back.
ounce of manner? Fuck off, cunt. Sorry.
Did you kick him?
I disconnected him. I haven't kicked him from the server. I'm sorry. Nobody gets to come in here and do that. Nobody.
He'll be back. Here we go.
Yeah, let's
Fucking
try again.
Kyle.
Can we try again, Bob? Do you think you can manage that? Oh, look, no. He had to come in, try and insult, which I didn't hear. And
You
then
got
leave.
it fired. You got Evans fired.
I'm just fed up of sitting here listening to him do that.
He wants to cause drama, though, Emma.
Yeah, of course he does.
If he wants
So-
to cause drama about him saying that he's measured the Earth curve and me saying he was a lying shit, then let him do
let
it.
him.
Yeah,
You're a liar,
Bob.
But he doesn't need to. Yeah, but he doesn't need to be in here doing that, right? He can come in here and talk. He can have a conversation with you. That's absolutely fine. That was not a conversation.
Yeah, I know he's
And
triggered.
neither was last night. And
He's
I'm
triggered.
sorry. Yeah, he is very triggered, and he triggered me.
Well, I'm recording this when he was coming around here.
Fuck's sake.
Because he looks like a fucking knobhead.
Yeah, he does. Which is why you just let him go on spouting his shit. The more we just laugh at him,
Yeah.
the more ridiculous he looks. But if anybody comes in here acting like that, I'll say and do exactly the same thing.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.